It's Thursday, September 5th. This is Cole's stock I'm looking at, KSS, and I want to do kind of a big top-down analysis of this stock and maybe what to look for, some of the key levels and everything else. This is a very long-term yearly chart going all the way back to really the 1990s each year. And you can see at the moment, obviously we've come down and we're at kind of an area where it might tend to eventually bounce to the upside, but a lot of things have to happen to confirm that. You can see here, at least for this, this year, we're red. There's the open of the year, and we've been red coming down. So really, on a long-term basis, until that starts up again, green, the trend is still lower. But it doesn't look like by the end of this year we're going to turn this green, so we might have to wait till January to start again and see if it opens green and starts higher on a 2-up year. These bars are getting narrower, so that's kind of what to look for in terms of going into 2025. Can you kind of get above the 30 area? But let's see if maybe that's starting to develop right here down near 20. So we start breaking it down a little bit. We go to the quarterly chart. And what's interesting here is we have a kind of another red quarter going on. This ends in September. And that kind of came down, took out the low of the previous quarter, but it's not following through much. It's starting to develop a little upside action. So for this quarter to head up going into, October, November, December, we want to get above this high right here, which is about the I guess you'd call it the 23 area. So going into next quarter as September ends, let's see if we can start up above 23. That might be the beginning of getting up above 30 into next year. Now we break it down even further on the monthly chart just to see. And we see here, at least starting out this month, we are starting green. So at the moment, the monthly chart and the weekly and the daily, as I'll show you, is heading higher. So at some point for that yearly and quarterly chart to turn up, you got to get the shorter term frames starting to turn up first. So at least we have that going. So what I'd like to see now, since we're just starting out in September, is to hold the open here green all month long. I think it's that 1934 area. If we can hold above there, then we're staying comfortably green in the short run, and maybe can get that long run, those levels 23 and 30 eventually taken out to get the bigger picture to the upside. So if we go to the weekly chart now, this is kind of what you trade on a very short-term basis. Clearly we have a green week, for the first few days of this week, and we're a little choppy range here. This is an area where it met selling before. So now I'll look at the daily chart here. You can see we have this big range over the last couple of weeks, and we're heading to the top of that range. So let's see what happens here. Are we going to break through that, or is this going to be another area of choppiness where we just take out the highs and then come back down to the lows? Again, I wanted to hold 1934 or 24, whatever it is, the open all month long, and I want to see a beginning of of those quarterly and yearly charts turning green above their key levels. But at the moment, we're just in kind of an overall downtrend, chopping around down here, and truthfully, if it can't really break those levels, then you never know if those yearly charts are going to stay red and head a lot lower. In the big picture, though, we're coming to an area down here where it does tend to find a little buying. So let's just see if it can turn those levels around. But what we got to do is get above 23, and then into next year getting above 30. That will confirm more of a sustainable uptrend, move to the uptrend, or move to the upside in an uptrend. Other than that, you just have to go with the big picture that if you look at the monthly chart spread out, we're definitely coming down into some low areas here. And, it's hard to say if we're getting a turning point to the upside until that yearly chart, let's finish up with that, can turn green. And at this point, that, with 3 months to go in the year, it doesn't look like this year is going to turn up, but maybe starting next year, we'll get a green bar, get a 2-up green bar. That's what I want to see in the long run, getting above 30 here to really start anything back up higher. So keep those levels in mind. And that's my analysis of coal stock KSS.